Smokehouse, baby.
Knock the stick off, man.
We sending out them smoke signals.
Pick your square. When the bell rings, I'ma put my hands on you. Call your face the helipad, I'ma land on you. Elite striker, put you on your backside. Howdy, I'm from Texas where the ladies don't catfight. They're serving up some chicken wings, I ain't talking fast food. Hit you with the guillotine to counteract your last move. Make you go night-night, if you don't tap first. I'ma throw the straight right, but you can catch a jab first. Come on, got the smoke that you're looking for. Dishing out the punishment, worse than the book of Job. Take me to the mat if you can't fade the combos. But if you take me down, I'ma play you like a trombone. Oh, it's the Big T at Smokehouse. Got 'em begging me to let the smoke out. If you flex with me, you get choked out. It's the Big T at Smokehouse. Smokehouse, Smokehouse. It's the Big T at Smokehouse. If you flex with me, you get choked out. All right, cool. Well, check this out. Welcome to the Big T at Smokehouse. This your man Shy, aka 12. This is basically combat sports with a Texas flavor. You know what I mean? So when they say you want the smoke, you go to the Smokehouse, and it ain't, Smokehouse is all over Texas. So I had to throw that out just to shout out Texas. Well, anyway, tonight we have a Texas legend, H-Town legend. Matter of fact, I'm from Houston, Texas, so this is a big pleasure for me. I grew up watching this brother do his thing. You see that big old man in that background back there. I grew up watching this brother. So first of all, I just want to show some appreciation. We got 10-time tag team champion up in this piece, man. Y'all give it up silently, of course, because you ain't on here, for my man Stevie Ray.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah, this is a pleasure. This is a pleasure. Everybody I told about this, they was like, for real? I was like, yeah, for real, man. Had a homie named Zen that said, he told me to use your resources, G. You built a network, use it. So this is a pleasure of mine. I was shouting out K Reno and Murder One of the legendary SPC before we started this. I want to shout them out on here. I got this interview through reaching out to those brothers because I heard that they knew you.
Oh yeah, they're my boys, man.
Right on, legends, man. K Reno is probably the greatest MC ever that nobody ever really just talks about like that. But,
well, I tell you what, I'm working on getting him on my show. He did my radio show a few years ago. I'm working on getting him on my podcast.
Deep brother and a humble brother, and very smart, and loves basketball. He knows his basketball. So,
I heard that. Yeah,
well, let's get to you, bro. It's so much. I was doing a little research because I didn't want to come on here fumbling and bumbling when I ask you these questions. So let's just get into it, man. You what got you into wrestling? Like what was it all about?
Actually, I kind of tried, guy came to me one day in a gym, said, hey man, I'm opening up a wrestling school, man. You might be something you're interested in.
Just like that.
I'll try it out, man. So that's pretty much how it happened. I told my brother, hey man, this guy opened up a restaurant. I think I might try it out. My brother, okay, I tried that too. So that's basically how I got into wrestling.
What were you doing before that? Like any sports?
Oh, I played sports all my life. You know what I'm saying? All my high school, little in college, this, that, and the other. Back then I was bodybuilding, when I met this guy, what I'm saying? But sports has always been I come from a sports oriented family, so sports has always been a part of my life. So,
gotcha. Well, I hear that. Like I said, you have the size for it. So I was like, I figured you did something like before that. So I was looking up. I don't know if you really want to throw your government name out there. I found it online. So I was like, oh, it wasn't Stevie Ray at birth. Where did you get the name Stevie Ray from? Yeah.
Pretty much Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder.
That's what it said on Wikipedia, but you can't trust Wikipedia all the time,
Wikipedia has a lot of my stuff is wrong on Wikipedia, man. So, Wikipedia, they all kind of stuff they got wrong on my Wikipedia. From years ago. Even they used to have my name wrong. I don't know. That got corrected over the last few years.
Okay.
My age. All kind of stuff. And I'm like, where do people get this stuff from? And I guess people just get it and throw it on there and call it real or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even know what Wikipedia was for a long time. And I'm like, somebody come up to me and say, "Hey man, is your name so and so?" And I'm like, "No, where'd you get that from?" "It was seen on Wikipedia." I'm like, "What is that?" Finally, I went and looked at it. I'm like, everything on here is wrong, but I didn't. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, anybody can just get on there and type whatever on there. So
I guess, man. I'm like, okay.
All right. So I saw that you used to train under the legendary Ivan Putski, the Polish power.
Well, I went to his school. Like, he didn't train anybody, but
Gotcha.
I went to his school back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, I remember him when I was little. I think he was in AWA. Was that the name of it?
No, he was in a bunch of stuff, bunch of different organizations back in those days. But yeah, he opened up a school, him and his wife.
Okay.
And but he just was the owner. He didn't do anything.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember he was like real buff, short guy. Used to do the hammer.
Yeah.
Okay. So who were your favorite wrestlers growing up watching? I used to watch Mid-South.
I really didn't have any favorite wrestlers.
Really?
I just kind of like watch wrestling. I never went, dreamed on being a professional wrestler. It was just something I tried and I was good at. A lot of people think, like a kid, you watch, you come up trying to be Michael Jordan or LeBron James. I never did that in professional wrestling. I like a lot of wrestlers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just theatrical and very entertaining.
Right.
So no, I don't have any infinity for any professional wrestlers at all.
Okay.
I'm always good at.
I feel like, you kind of stumble on. Sometimes you stumble onto something and you just have the talent, and it's like.
I have a lot of respect for what they did, this, that, and the other, because I'm a big fan. But when people ask me questions like that, it's like I was some little kid, looking around, growing up, wanting to be a professional wrestler. I had no inclinations of ever being a professional wrestler. If somebody said, "Hey, I'm opening up a school," I went to school, and 30 years later,
30 years later.
I never had any inspiration. Me and my brother never had inspirations on being a tag team. None of that stuff. It just all happened because of someone else's ideas.
And you had the talent to carry it out.
Yeah, somebody said, "Hey, I think y'all could I want to make y'all a tag team." Me and my brother had never tagged before. And we're like, okay.
Like, right on.
Whatever. Whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So 10-time tag team champions. Of course, I was watching a little documentary the other day. Stone Cold, Steve Austin was talking about, matter of fact, he was talking to your brother, but about the evolution of characters and coming into your own as the character that everybody comes to know you. Eventually, you guys made history as Harlem Heat. But of course, you had a journey. Could you tell me about that journey, like the different names? I saw you had Ebony Experience was one of them.
Ebony Experience was when we first started off as a tag team. Then we went to WCW. Then we turned into Harlem Heat.
Gotcha.
But, like I said, we had no inclinations of ever being a tag team. But if you want us to be a tag team, we're going to try to be the best tag team we can possibly be. And that's basically was it. You know what I'm saying? And then you seen the evolution of, going from big time baby faces as Ebony Experience. Yeah. And then we go to big time heels as Harlem Heat.
Right.
It's like, oh, you want us to be bad guys? Okay, I'm gonna be the best bad guy I can possibly be. You want me to be a baby face, a good guy? Okay, I'm gonna possibly be. And that's anything in the entertainment business. You know what I'm saying? Somebody how you do a job, you do the job as best you can do the job.
How did you swing that? How did you guys? I see that happen a lot. You go from baby face to heel, from heel to baby face.
It's a part of your training. It's a part of it's a part of everything you do. You know what I'm saying? That's why they call you a professional. If you can't do it, get out the game. Right. Get somebody else to get it. They get somebody else to do it. So you just turn the switch. Baby faces, get over with the fans. Heels, make them mad.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I went to train for, and that's what I studied the business for. So you ask me to do it, I'm gonna do it. No different than an actor. You know what I'm saying? Playing somebody that kills everybody or actor that tries to save everybody. That's your job.
True.
Do it the best however the director wanted you to do it, go do it. That's what you get paid to do.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Did somebody would just come to you guys and say, okay, y'all gonna turn heel this week?
Well, I don't run wrestling organizations. I just work in them.
For sure.
I mean, just like a movie, actor just don't walk on a set and start acting.
That's
you gotta
true.
get a job first. You know what I'm saying? And then you gotta audition. I mean, you got to audition, go through the whole thing. No different in any kind of entertainment business, you know?
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody that sings. I'm looking for this kind of voice to sing this kind of song. Right. If you don't have that kind of voice, this person that's producing this music, I don't want that person. I want somebody else.
I want somebody else here. Move along.
The entertainment business is pretty much the same across the board. It's just different facets of it.
Gotcha. Did you enjoy one?
Huh?
Did you enjoy one more than the other, like being a babyface or a heel, or it was just all work?
No, because I just go to work.
Right on.
To me, wrestling is just a job.
Right.
Whatever the job requires, I don't care if I'm working at McDonald's or working digging a ditch. Whatever the job requires, I do the job that way.
That's it. That's being pro.
I'm just straight. I'm just straight. That's how I do the job. So people have asked me that. What did you like better? I like wrestling.
Right.
That's what I like. You know, I ain't got time to really get into the semantics of what I do for a living.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just try to do it as good as I can possibly do it.
Right on. That's being a pro.
If someone likes it, they're gonna pay you. Someone doesn't like you, they're gonna fire you.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Simple as that. Like you said, any job you check into.
Yeah. I mean, I'm an African American in a predominantly white business, so I got to be better than the next guy by 2.
Yeah. Let me ask you something about. Right. Let me ask you something about that, Stevie Ray. I was, I guess I peruse YouTube and, I run across people, but I found Tony Atlas, the legendary Tony Atlas, doing an interview, and he was speaking on his relationship with Rocky Johnson, The Rock's dad.
Right.
And he mentioned Tiger Conway Jr. as well. And he mentioned that since, like you said, it's a white dominated, especially back then, it was really good, old boy, that white dominated industry. And so in some instances, the brothers kind of gravitated towards each other, but he said in their time, they really were against each other because it was only room for one black star, at the time. And so they found that they were kind of cutting each other's throats behind the scenes just to stay on top. Did you ever experience any of that, or was it? That's
not a professional wrestling thing. That's a black people thing, period. When they get into any kind of, experience anywhere where they are a few of us, and other ones come around, you don't want to see them do good because you feel as though this is my spot.
Yeah.
And I don't want to lose this spot. That's not a professional wrestling thing. That's a people thing. That's we as black people. You see that in the music business. You see that in the acting. You see that in anything.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You see guys in hip hop right now, having beefs and stuff over nothing. And people don't realize it's enough music to go around for everybody. It's enough money for everybody. You see, everybody knows the old death row situation.
Right.
And all those guys could have ruled the world, but by the mere fact, I'd rather have a beef with the East Coast, West Coast. You see what I'm saying? This is a country of 340 million people.
Yeah.
That generates billions and trillions of dollars
every year. Yeah.
Where you going? You see the mentality of what I'm talking about? Yeah. That ain't got nothing to do with wrestling.
That's true.
That's a black people thing, because you want to be cuddled by your oppressor and you don't even realize it.
You should have dropped the boulder. You just dropped the boulder, brother. But I agree.
That sign back there says straight shooting Stevie Ray, because that's the way I didn't get that name off the wall. People in the professional wrestling business gave it to me.
Yeah.
Because if you step to me and you want to ask me something, I'm gonna give it to you straight.
Yeah.
I
respect that.
And that's the respect that I had in the business. I'm not the guy. You want to talk about bullshit? I'm not the guy. You want to talk about real stuff? I'm the guy, because I'm gonna give it to you straight, because in the wrestling business, I didn't care about who was who. I'm not here to be cuddled. I'm here to work.
For sure.
And I will help anybody that seeks my help.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, I want to see everybody make it, because people don't realize. I realize how big and how much money this country has to give. So what I'm gonna fight you about? It's enough for you to eat. It's enough for me to eat. And the thing at the end of the day, don't nobody care about us. No how. We're gonna be here today, gone tomorrow. So get what you can get. I'm gonna get what I can get. And when it's all over, said and done, maybe we can do some business together somewhere.
Right.
Because the business don't care about us.
Right.
Period. It eats us up and throws us out in any form of entertainment.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
What Tony Atlas and them went through, it was a lot of people, you'd be working a regular job at let's say a warehouse, and you the only brother in there. Another brother come in, hey, I got a certain standoffishness from this guy, because that's how your mind has been warped.
Yeah.
Instead of accepting him. You know what I'm saying? Back in those days I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Instead of accepting him. Hey brother, what's up? Like, if I can help you, blah, blah, blah. Because it's like, boom. Oh, the white man is not going, maybe he don't want me around no more. Maybe he don't want to cuddle me no more. See that? You're brainwashed.
Yeah.
So that's what Tony Atlas was going through. But like I said, it's not a wrestling thing. It's an African-American thing, period.
Yeah, just they happen to be wrestlers. Yeah, I got you.
Just have to, a lot of people that try to curtail things as to the wrestling business is something sacred. It's not. It's just a form of entertaining that's ran by a lot of people of non-color.
Mm-hmm. And
people of non-color gonna do the same thing. I don't care what the business is. At the end of the day, they're trying to get paid.
That's right. It's about that green.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if they got a big African-American audience down here, but see, that's how Tony Atlas and them made their money. Every territory brings in certain black guys because they got the big black audience in certain parts of the United States.
Right.
So they want that black dollar.
For sure. So
if you in that area and you see another guy look like you, that could have something to do with your dollar. You see the difference? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's all. That's all.
Saw each other as a threat.
That's unfortunate because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be like that. But in certain parts of, history, you've seen it in every facet of life.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, yeah, you threw a bow down. I felt the room shaking over here. But hey, I agree. I talk about it all the time. I agree. It's definitely a psychosis thing. It's definitely psychological in the community. PTSD, if you will. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a form of PTSD because of the years and years of trauma that you've pretty much gone through, and you don't even realize it.
Yeah. That's that. Excuse my French. I don't use the word a lot, but that's the house nigga type mentality that they say. I'm the black dude in the house, and then all of a sudden this other one come in. Oh no. He getting massive attention. He gonna take my spot. So
yeah.
It's horrible, but I mean, it's still there. It definitely still exists in the community, and I'm glad you say that, because we need to talk about that more amongst each other so we can get it up out of our hoods and get it out of our households and all of that.
It's been systematically pretty much pushed for years.
Yeah.
And when things are systematically done, you can't look at them and put your finger on it. But it's happening right in front of your face, and you don't even see it.
Yeah, because you're living in it.
Yeah, and you don't even realize
that
you can be, just out there being, hating on people, and you don't even know why. And because now what's inverted becomes normal.
Yeah.
What's abnormal has become normal, and you don't even know it.
Right.
All that boils down to education.
Indeed.
But in our educational system right now, are they really teaching these kind of things?
Oh, no.
Or are they just trying to get kids through school?
That's it.
And get to the next level because, all the government subsidies and everybody trying to keep their job.
That's it.
It is what it is.
It's about numbers. It's definitely about numbers. I learned most of my stuff talking to the elders in the community and reading books at the library. That's
so you and I, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. You just took my words.
Okay.
As to how I self-educated myself when I got to a certain age.
Right.
Because I'm like, I was dyslexic as a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people all the time, I don't even supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I don't mean that like somebody getting an award at an award show.
Yeah.
Oh, don't nobody tell you that you can't do it. I ain't try to do nothing. The only thing I had in my mind is I'm going to try to be good at anything I try.
Yeah.
That's my message. Don't try to be do what I do what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
To the best of your ability.
Exactly.
Yeah. I call it the workman's mentality. I teach my sons that, like, I don't care, it's an attitude. I mean, you can be a sanitation worker, you can be the president of the United States, you can be an engineer, you can be a soccer player. If you're lazy, you're lazy. Mm-hmm. If you have a bad attitude or a poor attitude, it don't matter what environment you're in, it's going to show.
It's going to show.
If you're a worker, it's going to show.
Right.
Everywhere you go, in your business, in the wrestling business, I'm sure you saw a lot of those guys. They had abs and pecs and arms, but they didn't have that mentality, and they thought maybe I look good, so they're gonna hand me this. But you ain't working.
Right.
Yeah.
You 100% right. Like I say, the same mentality. I don't care what job I'm doing. I got the same mentality.
Right on. Right on. So let's get back to this Harlem Heat, man. I saw a little bit. Like, you are 7 years older than Book?
About 6.5.
6.5. Okay, so how did it? I mean, it's great. It's great to come from where you come from and be able to see the entire world. Just by yourself. How did it feel being able to do that with your brother? You know what I mean? Your little brother, and both of y'all had that success.
I mean, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? It was cool. We enjoyed we saw a lot of things. We got to travel the world, this, that, and the other. I mean, it was really cool. Once you look back on it. But even then, you were still just trying to be successful in the ring wherever you went. You know what I'm saying? I never really, that's just me. I never really cared about, I don't care who I was. I'm finna go out here and show these people what I do.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? Seeing the world and all that, I don't really take that in. I mean, if you've seen because I've been around the world twice, and I've been on every continent except for one. And that's cool, but those are not my best memories. My best memories is in the ring entertaining those people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Those are my best memories. I ain't even got a lot of pictures of certain places I've been. Now I look back on it now and say, maybe I should have took more pictures, but I'm not a picture guy. Mm-hmm. I am who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, it was nice traveling the world, but it was nicer performing for them.
Yeah. Any particular memory stand out of those matches? Like any one that was just man, that's that moment?
No.
So it's just the whole ride?
No, because, you got so many matches that you do. As soon as I'm through with something, I ain't thinking about it no more.
Right on.
I'm not one of them guys that like to reminisce about old times and stuff like that, unless it's something funny or out of the ordinary or this, that, and the other. Like I said, at the end of the day, brother, I'm just like a guy that was in the military, brother. I just go to work.
Yeah.
I do what my whatever my orders are. Yeah. And that's what I do. And I never, because I'm kind of guy, I didn't get into wrestling for everything that can bring for you. I got into it because I love doing it.
Right on.
I just love doing it, man. I mean, that was when you have it's a natural high. When when that music comes on and that fire starts and you walk out of that curtain and those people go crazy, you can't get that anywhere.
Yeah, I remember y'all used to walk out, man, to that fire, and I'm like, them some big old brothers. And so it's a Harlem Heat, man. And I found out, when I found out y'all were from Houston, I was like, oh man, they from the city, man. So what part of Houston y'all from?
South Park.
Right on. Okay.
Southeast Houston.
South Park, yeah. I know it well. So I was like, okay,
That's why K Reno and all of us from the same place.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. So what high school you went to?
I went to Jesse Jones.
Jones, okay. Yes. So I think the SPC was split up between Jones and Worthing. Is that what it was? Or was it Sterling? I think it might have been Sterling.
Yeah, I think it was Stars. Worthing is more. Sterling is closer. Then again, they both about the same distance. I don't know. Okay. I'm not sure.
But you went to Jones. Okay.
Yeah. But so I know that happened years later, though.
Right. Yeah. So how did the Harlem Heat thing come up? Like, when did somebody come and say, "Well, I tell you what, we want you to be some rough boys"?
Well, actually, they had brought us in as another. They wanted us to be this other tag team, and the Chain Gang, and that didn't go over so well. Yeah. So they wanted to change our names to something else, And then different people start throwing names out there and stuff like that. And the Harlem Heat thing just stuck.
Right on.
And then we changed our attire.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And
from the mean streets of Harlem. I remember they used to say that all the time.
Yeah. So that's pretty much how it happened. You know, I mean, somebody said Chicago Heat, somebody said Miami Heat, somebody said Houston Heat, and we was like, no, what about Harlem Heat? And then that was like, I kind of stuck, you know what I'm saying? So that's where it came from, man. I remember that's real. Hey, what's wrong with Miami Heat? Oh, man, come on, that's a basketball.
That's a basketball team.
What the hell are you talking about?
They come out with Alonzo Mourning or something. Man.
And then they're like, what about Chicago Heat? And I'm like, why do suckers want us to be from Chicago? The Road Warriors say they from Chicago. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I'm like, why would we want to say we from somewhere that somebody else says? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Harlem
is pretty much synonymous with African Americans.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Historically.
That's what we're trying to make them get. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So finally they got it. So it was what it was.
Yeah, I remember.
That's how we came up with it, though.
That's what's up, man. I never knew. I thought, I'm gonna be honest with you. I used to sit back with me and my cousin. We were wrestling heads. So I'm like, I wonder if they picked Harlem because they thought like Houston was just like hay balers and horse riders or something. I'm like, they must never been to Houston because it's pretty hot out here too. You know, it's pretty mean. The streets are kind of mean and out here too. Yeah, that's cool, man. It was great growing up watching you guys, man. And I remember a lot of the matches y'all had with like the Steiners and you know that and speaking of the Road Warriors, I love the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Hawk transitioned, right? Then I think he passed. Or was it Animal?
Both of them.
Both of them. Oh, yeah, I remember Hawk had passed. Yeah, they were great.
Animal just passed a few months ago, a couple of months back.
Oh, very recent then.
Yeah, he just passed a couple of months ago out of the blue. He had a heart attack. Him and his wife was having a vacation, from what I could gather, and it was kind of hush hush. But then his wife and I communicate on, because me and Joe were very tight, very good friends, and it kind of hurt me, man, because I had just communicated with him, you know what I'm saying, texting, because we text each other every now and then.
Okay.
His wife from this area.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I used to always tease him like, look, man, if it wasn't for Houston, you'd be alone. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Had to get a Texas woman to come pull you out, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's how we talk to each other, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, man,
you owe me. You owe me, Animal.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And oh man, I remember last time he and I hung out was down in New Orleans, and his wife and a few other people. Man, we had such a good time, man. Down in the quarter. You know what I'm saying? Just God, just acting a fool, man. We had such a good time. Wow. And you know what I'm saying? And then somebody sent me something one morning. I got up and somebody sent me something on Facebook about Joe Laurinaitis. That's his real name, and you know that he had died. I'm like, what? I mean, this is out of nowhere because you know Joe they ain't been sick or nothing. You know, I'm just one of those things, man. But you know, hey, we got some good memories, man.
That's great, man.
Some good memories.
Yeah, I'm sure you made some good friends throughout the years in business. I
made some good associates, but friends, you know what? I didn't go to get into wrestling to be friends. You know, ace boom coons with people. You know, just like any job.
Yeah,
we cool. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. Clock in, clock out. Yeah. So was there anybody that you didn't wrestle that you wish you could have gotten a chance to get in there with?
No, I pretty much wrestled everybody.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't look at wrestling like a fan.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's just a job. So I don't look at it like, you know what I'm saying? I wish I could dance with this guy. I wish I could have worked with this guy. Man, I just go to work.
Yeah.
I never clouded my mind with a lot of stuff that I had no control over.
Right.
I never clouded my mind with that. So thinking about guys like that, that's like what a fan would do. You know, dream match. I wish I would have seen this person.
Yeah.
Or boxer. I wish this boxer had fought this. I never really looked at professional wrestling like that. I did what I did. Right. And that was that.
Right. Yeah, I can see, you know, I'm a fan. So that's why.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, I mean, I do, you know, interviews, not a whole lot, but a little. And people ask me stuff like that. And I always have to tell them, it's hard for me to think about something like a fan because this is what I did for a living. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's hard for me to think about it in that way, shape, or form.
I mean, thinking about it like that, I get it because I don't have any like fond memories of me going to work at my job. You know, I get up and like, you know, I punch the clock and it's another day. You know, I might have a good day. I might not have a good day. Exactly. But it's another day. It's just me clocking in.
And, you know, it's like you've been around the same people for long periods of time. And and you have a camaraderie, you know, with different people. But I would always tell people, man, I don't bring my job home with me. Yeah. Because if I bring my job home with me, then my job controls my mind. I don't control it.
Right on. Right on. So when we were talking before, you know, just on the phone, you know, when we talked the first time, you were telling me that, of course, I see, you know, the straight shooting with Stevie Ray behind you. So you have a podcast, and I see you doing a lot of things. So you really into combat sports? You were telling me, like, who are you into? Like, you more boxing, more MMA, a little bit of both? Or
we do it all. Actually, I got a radio show and we talk about combat sports. That's our main subjects, even though we talk about other sports also. But we talk about pro wrestling, boxing, MMA. Yeah, those are lead stuff. Yeah. Then we get off into football, basketball, stuff like that. And you know, I've had a lot of combat sport guys. Wrestlers, MMA guys, boxers on my podcast also. Yeah. So that's one of my pet peeves. That's one of my loves is combat sports. Yeah.
Who's your favorite boxer right now?
I don't think I have one.
Okay.
I don't think I have one. I like boxing in general as a sport. You know.
Me too. Yeah.
I like MMA in general as a sport. You know, so. I don't really have any favorites, man. I just want to see the best fight the best.
Me too. I feel you. I mean, you know, everybody's kind of saying it, but boxing is so political these days. Yeah, that's true. You know, it's a different promotional companies. Well, it's really the different networks. You know what I mean? Because it's just too much money, and they don't want to all share it, and that's really the problem. So I wish boxing definitely had more. I'm getting more into the MMA now. I'm really late to the party. You know, I knew the big guys. You know, the Anderson Silvas. Yeah. You know, but I don't really know the guys on the come up. So I'm getting more into it now, which is another reason I'm glad I'm doing this podcast, because I get to actually do some research and watch some fights and, you know, learn the art a little bit more. But boxing, you know, I still love boxing, but it's a lot. It's giving me a headache sometimes with the politics of it all and everybody talking for 5 years and never fight. You know how it is.
Right. You know, and now with social media, people do more talking than fighting. And that's one thing about, you know, boxing and some of the other stuff that I really don't get into because, you know, I've been a boxing fan since I was a little bitty boy watching boxing with my grandfather. And you just watch boxing. Yeah. Whatever somebody said about somebody other than when Muhammad Ali came around, right? You know, at his time, you just seen boxers getting in the ring fighting. Yeah. It was none of the bloviating that we have nowadays.
Oh, it's so much. Yeah.
You know, and what you see on social media, and most people, you know, I have buddies. You're more interested in what the guy got paid than what went on in the ring. Right. So I'm like, okay. Then they want to know why MMA came up so fast, because MMA always gave you great fights. Yeah. They always give you great fights regardless. You know, with the pay-per-view, it's going to be great fights on there if you into the sports. It ain't cupcake time. It ain't the Floyd Mayweather gimmick, like I used to always tell people. It ain't the Floyd Mayweather gimmick. I say, you know, people don't realize people like Floyd Mayweather hurt boxing more than he helped it. But people don't understand that because you looking at the bravado. Yeah. You're not looking at the sport for what it really is. And what the sport really is competition. Yeah. competition.
Who the best?
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you can take a pro wrestling gimmick and turn it into money, I'm not opposed to that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what Floyd Mayweather did. He took a pro wrestling gimmick, money, Mayweather,
right,
and then you go seek a lot of flat-footed Hispanic fighters that you know you can beat. Then you make yourself the heel, the bad guy, and all these people that's pushing for this Hispanic guy to beat you because, hell, Mexico got a whole country.
Right.
South America is a whole third of a continent. Those dollars run long.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you look at what they put together, it was great. But you know the one thing you never did? You never had the adversary across the fence like two pit bulls looking at each other and they want to get at each other. And I'm not talking about the Manny Pacquiao's of the world like people made it out to be. I'm talking about the African-American fighter. The one thing that offsets an African-American fighter is another African-American fighter. You understand what I'm saying? Never had that adversary across the fence with the same reflexes and the same hunger and the same desire and the same footwork. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the greats had the one adversary.
Yeah.
In every sport.
Yeah.
In every sport.
Yep.
Think about that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The Lakers had Boston.
Yeah. I would say Magic Bird. Yeah, exactly.
You know, Tom Brady had Peyton Manning.
Yep.
Think about this.
Ali Frazier.
It goes on and on.
Yeah.
Who was the one guy that professed to be the best, but you never had that adversary across the fence?
Yeah.
You never had him.
Yeah, it's a lot more games now. They
if you see what I'm saying. That was just a money grab. And then on top of that, by those pay-per-view numbers being so high, because the way they promoted him and the way they promoted the other Hispanic guys, once that ceased, the pay-per-view game went in the toilet.
Yeah, it's down. It's really down.
Because you know why? You never passed the torch either.
He didn't.
You never passed the torch.
Yeah, I agree.
Every older fighter always gave that one young guy before I went out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gave that one young guy a shot before I get out. Because if he get me, you know, it's like a baton.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah.
But you wanted to protect that 50-0 so bad that you never gave that one guy that shot.
I agree. Yeah. To me,
so that's what I'm saying. That hurt boxing. People don't realize because they don't know the real interactions of what goes on in sports.
Yeah.
You remember when the Detroit Pistons was at the top of their game? You remember when the Lakers was at the top of their game? Who stopped them? The Detroit Pistons. And remember when the Detroit Pistons, they got old overnight, and that's when the Bulls took the mantle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's always been that way in sports. When Ali had to drop down and Larry Holmes came up.
Yeah.
When Larry Holmes came down, Mike Tyson
came up. Right.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always that lineage. Give back to the business that's been good to you. You have to.
Yeah,
so
pass that torch.
With all that being said, those are the arguments I get into with people about Floyd Mayweather. It's not a knock on him per se. It's a knock on him as to how he did business and how if you love this sport, you can't just take away from it.
Yeah.
You got to give back to it also.
I agree with that. I think, I don't know. It's like I look at it two different ways. One, I agree with exactly what you're saying. I think with Floyd, when he made his heel turn and became money, it worked for him. You know, it was a good business. It was a good business model.
That's what I said. Business-wise, genius.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali did the same thing with the Gorgeous
But
George
he
thing.
never ducked the top guy.
There you go. He fought everybody, and Floyd did too.
Ducked the top guy.
Floyd did too.
Ducked a lot of people.
Towards the end, I would say that's where I start feeling like I feel
okay,
like
when Floyd went up to 47, Paul Williams was there. They tried to get a fight with him forever. He wouldn't do it. Antonio Margarito tried to get a fight with him forever. Never did. Amir Khan, when Amir Khan was really, really good, was the #1 contender. Floyd Mayweather didn't fight him, and he fought Marcos Maidana for a second time, who he had already beat.
He beat him.
Keith Thurman was the #1 contender
there you go.
for his belt, and he decided to relinquish the belt and not fight Keith Thurman. So a lot of people don't know the behind-the-scenes thing about Floyd Mayweather. And I'm not saying he wouldn't have beat those guys. I'm not saying that. But you took the easier fight to make the most money. Now, that's great in business, but from a fan's perspective and from other boxers' respect, you can't have the utmost respect. You can always have respect for making money. That's easy. Anybody can see that.
I agree with you.
You never went out of your way. And not only that, if you look back at the great welterweights of our time, once they became the guy, they went and tested themselves against a bigger guy. Sugar Ray Leonard, the fight he had with Marvin Hagler will go down in history. People still talk about it to this day. God rest his soul. He just died a month or so ago.
Peaceful journey to him, to the ancestor Marvin Hagler, definitely.
He was a 160-pound champion for a long period of time.
like 8 years or something like that.
Roberto Duran said, "I can beat you." He didn't. Tommy Hearn said, "I think I can get you." You see what I'm saying?
Probably the greatest fight ever.
Yeah, and he didn't. Sugar Ray looked at Bill. I think I can get him if we change the rules a little bit. We're not going to do no 15-round fight. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to and I get a smaller ring, or was it a bigger ring? I can't remember.
It's probably the bigger ring so he can dance more.
Exactly. So he got those two stipulations, and that was in his favor. So that's what I'm saying. These guys are like, this dude, the king of the hill. I think I want some of him. Because it ain't no shame in losing. But you've been promoted.
It is now.
On your record.
It is now. That's why I disagree with. That's what I don't like about the Floyd thing. Like I said, it worked for him. Congratulations. Hey, the business model, beautiful. What I don't like is that the young fighters, they took that model. They didn't even go through the pretty boy Floyd phase. They just took the model of, Keith Thurman instantly thought he was the A side once Floyd retired. He was like, I'm the man now. And had his chest stuck out. Teofimo Lopez is doing it now. They automatically are money. They think they money. And that that I got to protect this what they don't understand is some of these guys, that one loss they have was the best fight. But if you think about it, that's what I'm talking about. All of that is a part of what I'm talking about. There's never been somebody 50-0 and they make that like it's something super special. Do you know how many fights Julio Cesar Chavez had before he lost? 70-something.
80-something. It was right at 90, something like that. Before he lost. What I'm saying is, being undefeated does not mean necessarily you the best. That just means you ain't went up against the dog yet. That's went against the dog yet.
That's right.
The dog is, and it's like, okay, I see the dog over there, but I ain't going over there. I'll go over here, mess with this poodle over here instead of that pit bull over there.
When it gets the business model. He followed his business model and he followed it to a T. But these young guys are doing it but the thing is, he didn't start doing that.
Listen to what you're saying. Listen to what you're saying, though. These guys came up looking at that.
That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the problem.
That hurt the business more than it helped.
Because they're more about that business model than they are about building a legacy.
But the thing is, Floyd put the legwork in and the wrench time in to do that. And that's why I say, I'm not talking about, the angle that they came up with. I'm talking about, I'm a fan. So I'm looking at it from a fan's point of view, not a business point of view, because I ain't in the business.
You ain't in that business,
I'm in the fan business. I pay to see you.
That's right.
So now you get these young guys. Now that's the template now that they're trying to do. Not so much as the fighters, but the people that even promote them. the people that handle them.
Mainly them.
They're trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It ain't no shame in losing.
Yeah.
But it is a shame when you're undefeated and you never fought the best. That's a problem.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And then instead of you, and then they put together something with a MMA fighter, give this guy a boxing license.
Yeah.
So once you beat him, what you know you was gonna beat him. This guy ain't no boxer.
Of course.
Do another gimmick like this that actually, just takes money, robs the whole world on money. I ain't mad at that either. It did make it 50-0.
Yeah, that should have been an exhibition. I agree.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that should have been an exhibition.
A boxing commission, okay?
Mm-hmm.
How many times we've heard about the boxing commission is there to help the fighters and save the fighters?
All the time.
How do you give a man who's never boxed a boxing license in the state of Nevada if you've never boxed it against a world-class fighter?
Gets all time great.
Not some guy, some cupcake that's 0-4,
not me.
Just getting started. Yeah. Got 49 and older that can beat the top guys that he's been in the ring with. How do you do that? Unless now you see how they're all in it for the money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So that, like you said, it was an exhibition that was presented to the people as a real competition.
Right.
Yeah, which to me is a crying shame.
Yeah, I agree.
Crying shame.
I think that's the thing I don't like about it. I mean, I argue with fans all the time, but that's what we do. But so I'm not really concerned about the fandom. I'm just more concerned about how these young fighters are taking that model and they're more worried about branding than legacy.
Right, exactly. But that goes on in all sports today. It ain't just boxing.
It's not. You're exactly right.
That goes on in all sports today, man. And it's like, hey, I got to protect this because of brand. I try to get the money, but it's the evolution of sports.
Yeah.
I see guys in pro. I got guys in pro wrestling doing it right now. Just like you ain't even never did nothing, but they promoting themselves like, what I'm saying. I did this, that, and the other, and got pictures of themselves. And I guess back in my day, if this social media thing was as big as it is today, we probably would have been doing the same thing.
That's a good point. It's like the environment, you adapt to whatever the environment is, and certain things, with us coming up, it just wasn't, available. So who knows, I might be as rotten as my children are.
You never know.
If I had all these things available.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, that's true, man. But you know what? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe somebody else will come up with a different attitude and kind of go up the ranks and start kind of influencing the way that it's going. Because like I said, right now, it's just branding. Like I actually tweeted something today. We said, like you said earlier, it's more bloviating than throwing blows. You know what I mean? And so the reason I know that Errol Spence Jr. and Udonis Ugas are going to fight sometime soon is because neither one of them are talking. I hadn't heard anything from either one of them in a week or two. Like they're not on social media, just like, beefing with nobody, barking, nothing. Everybody else is. All the other fighters are constantly, all day, every day. These guys are not saying nothing. So I said, yeah, they finna fight soon.
And that's why I tell people all the time, I have the utmost respect. I mean, the utmost respect. When you was asking me who's your favorite boxer, I have to retract what I said because I have the utmost respect for Manny Pacquiao.
Mm-hmm.
I have the utmost respect for that guy because from where he came from at 115, 112, whatever it was, all the way up to 154, and he was always the small guy in the ring,
always
fighting the big guy in the ring, and still winning, and never ducked the fight. Always fought Hall of Fame fighters, tough guys.
Yeah.
And at 40-something years old, got in the ring with Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
And I swear I thought Keith Thurman was going to stop Manny Pacquiao. And he beat him.
He beat him.
What I'm saying is, it would be easy for him to go fight some ham and egger, as Bobby Heenan used to say.
The brain.
It'd be easy for him to fight a ham and egger.
Right.
But what is he always telling people? Now, you get me the toughest guy you can find. Yeah. And I'll fight him.
Yeah, I was impressed by that. I was definitely impressed. Yeah, I was like, he beat Adrian Broner and Keith Thurman back to back.
And before that, he beat the kid from Argentina. Knocked him out. Can't think of his name. Beat all three of them in a row.
Yeah, young guys. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then remember, right before that, he went over to Australia and fought Horn.
But yeah,
who was almost twice his size, and they robbed the guy.
They robbed him. Yeah.
What I'm saying is, okay, Floyd. If Floyd Mayweather, you was around 40 years old one time, and you wouldn't fight nobody. This guy is over 40 now, and he's getting ready to fight Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, Terrence or Mikey Garcia. I don't know who he's announced yet. But
Terrence Crawford, he just got signed.
He's fighting Bud. Okay.
Who's considered pound for pound on a lot of people's boards the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, one or two on everybody's list. He's like,
and Manny Pacquiao is like, ain't no punk in me, bro.
If he's fighting Bud,
you got to realize where I come from.
Yeah.
It ain't about a record. That's a dog right there, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting some Hammond Egger. I'm fighting arguably the best fight in the world. Win or lose. But this is what I'm talking about. Terrence Crawford beats him. Terrence Crawford goes here because of Manny Pacquiao's name.
Because of his name.
That's what I'm talking about, giving back. Is it any shame if I'm 40, 41 years old and I lose to a guy 27, 28?
Not at all.
No,
not at all. None. Matter of fact, again, that's one of those L's where you get respect. You're like,
but if I'm going to shake your hand, because I don't supposed to be here, brother, I should have been retired.
Right.
I'm going to shake your hand and say, brother, carry this.
Yeah.
Carry this, with dignity and pride.
Yeah, if he fight Bud, man.
And make this boxing game mean something because it was good to you. That's what I'm talking about. And you know what? I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. I had the same conversation with a couple of boxers. One being Larry Holmes.
Legend.
This is what we was talking. Larry Holmes said the same thing. Before I said it, he said it.
Mm-hmm.
But I was saying it, and we got into this conversation. He did my radio show a few years ago. And this is what we was talking about. He's like, well, he was a great fighter, but he never gave back to the business. Because from that lineage of what they come from, you always have to give back to the business in some way, shape, or form. You can't just take from it like a bank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And never invest back into it, man. That's not right, and I would never respect him for that. I respect him as a boxer. Respect him as, Al Heyman doing what he did for him. Because my boy works for Al Heyman. Mm-hmm. Al put that whole thing together. But where does Al come from? He come from the music business.
Right.
So it is what it is. But
shout out to Al Heyman.
Oh yeah. But going to Pacquiao versus Crawford, and the dude 40-something years old, man, come on. Yeah. And you're going in the ring with a killer?
A killer. but hey, man, Bud is a monster. Bud is mean, bro. Bud is a boxer, but Bud will fight you.
I'm like, dog, ain't I know people. I know how tough he is, but ain't no punk in me, bro. Right. That is what I'm talking about when I was talking about Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
Looking at a much bigger fighter.
I love Tommy Hearns, by the way.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Looking at a much bigger fighter in Marvin Hagler. Yeah. Because if you weigh in at 160, you probably walking around at 175 pounds.
Yeah.
78 pounds.
Right. Easy.
Tommy Hearns was a 154-pound champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That came from 47.
Right. So barely.
Yeah.
Because he's tall and skinny.
Tall and skinny,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's why I love him. He was tall and skinny, but he threw bombs.
Right. But do you look at the big dog over there and go,
Tommy
was the 154-pound champion at the time, super welterweight. But it's like, brother, I think I can get you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want some of that.
I know you don't like me, and I don't like you either. But we got to go. You know what I'm saying? We got to go, man. I mean, that kind of stuff give me chill bumps.
Yeah,
because ain't no tomorrow for you, or it ain't gonna tomorrow to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we're gonna do this.
Yeah, because it ain't gonna be pretty either. Either I'm going or you going.
Yeah.
How many boxers gonna put themselves in that mind frame? You know what I'm saying? That I know I'm not, either I'm gonna make it through this or I'm not gonna make it through it. It ain't no in between.
Right.
Bro. That's a man. That's a man.
Yeah, Tommy.
It wasn't no shame in getting knocked out. Okay, you got me. But you were supposed to get me though. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was like I said, that I call it a respectable L. It's not a what do you call it? A moral victory. That's not what I mean. I mean a respectable L means you got in there with with a cat that could take your head off that nobody else want to touch, and you put these on him. You put these in his mouth, and I bet you Hagler respected him after that fight.
Oh, most definitely.
Whether they like each other or not, he wasn't. Tommy was putting him in his mouth.
Right. It was. But that, it wasn't for the fact that Hagler had a head like an anvil and chin like granite.
One of the best.
Anybody else, you already know, they would have been asleep.
They would have been asleep.
They would have been asleep.
Out of there. Hagler.
And it wasn't for Hagler begging for one more round. Because the ref, a lot of people don't know this, the ref was getting ready to stop their fight because of the cut that was over his head. And the ref was getting ready to stop it. They please let me have one more round.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
that's the kind of stuff when you say legendary nights.
Yeah.
I was looking at this deal these guys put on YouTube. I think it was the top 50 fights of all time.
Mm-hmm.
That one was in there.
Had to be.
Know what I'm saying? That one was in the top 10. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was in the top 10.
Had to be.
Oh my God. Do you know not one Floyd Mayweather fight was in there? Not one.
Oh man.
Not one.
Really?
That's when not one. I mean, they went way back.
Mm-hmm.
They went way back, like to the 30s and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The 30s, maybe the 20s. I even think they had a couple of the Jack Johnson fights in there.
Mm-hmm.
All the way up till, you know what I'm saying, till today.
Yeah.
Not one Floyd Mayweather fight was in there. And I was like, wow, I didn't even realize, so I had to rewind it. I said, did I miss something?
Well, he outclassed a lot of people he fought too. I mean, it has to be kind of an even exchange. I think that's
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It's easy to fight the flat-footed Hispanic fighter when you fight with that style from the 70s that your dad and your uncle taught you.
Mm-hmm.
That style will beat anybody because you're doing nothing but clinching, moving, pop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, shot.
And it just makes the guy look bad because it frustrates him.
Mm-hmm.
The only kind of people that offset that style is another guy that can fight that style.
Yeah, like Zab Judah gave Floyd trouble, but he ran out of gas.
But you remember Zab Judah was 140 pounds.
Yeah.
Floyd was 147.
Yeah.
So Zab was actually smaller than Floyd. And not only that, but you make a great point. You see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Zab was winning that fight.
Zab
for like the first 5 rounds.
Yeah. And
Floyd, he was winning that fight.
He was. And Floyd came back, and then Zab came back towards the end.
But Zab lost his cool also. He got sloppy.
Yeah, he did. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
He lost his cool and ran out of gas. Zab ran out of gas.
But you see what I'm talking about when a guy has the same foot speed, hand speed, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
That's going to be a difficult fight for you.
Right.
That's going to be a difficult fight. And it was a difficult fight.
Well, styles make fights, like you said, definitely.
Styles make fights. But the flat-footed Hispanic style will never beat the slick African-American style. You don't believe me? You remember when Roberto Duran said no mas?
Yep.
But you remember the first fight when Sugar Ray Leonard fought him like he likes to fight?
He fought him flat-footed. Yep. He fought him
when it's like let me do this.
Let me do me.
Right. Yeah. What happened? He's like, I don't want to fight this guy.
Yeah.
I want to fight him. Look at Canelo Alvarez against Erislandy Lara.
Yeah. I thought Lara won that fight. Yeah.
Okay. Why didn't he give him a rematch?
Of course. He made him look bad.
Now you see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he made him look bad.
The best Hispanic fighter in the world got a problem with that style.
Yeah, he won't fight Demetrius Andrade or Jamal Charlo because of that right now.
Exactly.
He fighting flat-footed European fighters. That's what he fights.
There you go. Yes. Now, like I said, a lot of people don't take these things into context.
Yeah.
But
he's a great fighter, but you're right. He's picking his style.
Oh, yeah. He ain't never going to fight another African-American fighter.
Not unless they're flat-footed.
Yeah. I say, yeah.
That's about it.
But those guys that's going to bring it, he know he's going to step his game up.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? I want to see Canelo fight Charlo.
Me too. That'd be such a great fight. Because Canelo can fight. I'm not going to take nothing from that guy.
Man, I'm not either.
Yeah, he can fight, but his business practices, he's been strategically,
that goes back to what you were talking about. That goes back to the Floyd Mayweather template.
The business model, yes. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah. He took the mantle. Like you said, Floyd didn't pass the torch, but Canelo got close enough to video. It takes some, he got his own torch and lit his torch and walked off with it.
You fight a bunch of cupcakes because you got a country behind you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You fight a bunch of cupcakes that you're gonna always
dominate them.
Yeah.
Give them short training camps. Mm-hmm. All of it. No rehydration clauses. I mean,
but I'm gonna tell you this. Yeah. I'm trying right now to get press passes. Mm-hmm. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't think Billy Joe Saunders is gonna be no pushover, bro.
You don't think so?
Oh, Billy Joe Saunders can fight.
He's having trouble making weight right now, from what they say, though.
Well, he still got time, though.
You're right.
Billy Joe Saunders can fight. But if I get my press credentials, I want to be there. I want to be there, man, because I got my boy and them working on it right now because I want to be there.
Where they fighting?
AT&T Stadium.
Oh, Dallas. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I actually drove down for the Danny Garcia and Errol Spence fight. I had to go see that fight. I drove to Dallas to watch that fight, and it was a great experience. That's my first fight I've ever been to.
Well, we went out. Me and my buddies went there when Pacquiao fought Margarito.
He whooped Margarito's ass.
That place was full, man. I was like, it had to be 60-something thousand, at least 60,000 people in there. Because when you went, the COVID thing was here.
Yeah, it was only like 16,000. Yeah.
Oh my God, the place was. I was like, "Woo, it was a nice place." I just wanted to see the place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just got regular tickets and stuff like that, and you got the big screens and stuff. Because I was like, man, them dudes so far down there, I can't even see them. It wasn't for those big screens, boy.
Exactly. I watched the screen the whole fight. I never looked down the ring because I couldn't really see them.
You need binoculars, man.
I was looking at the big screen though. I feel I should have stayed home and watched this on TV.
Yeah, I heard that, man.
But no, it was great. It was a great experience though.
Yeah, it is, man. It ain't nothing like it.
Yeah, even though it was just 16,000, it was still, you could still feel the energy in the building, and every punch land, you can actually hear them in the ring, because it just wasn't that loud, so you can hear the feet.
No,
yeah. It was a real cool experience.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Like I said, we're trying to get our press passes because I just started a new vlogging show that I'm going to be doing. It's called Where's Stevie Ray, and I did my first one not last weekend, not the Easter weekend, but the weekend before. And I'm taking camera with me, and going out doing different things and showing different things as to what I'm into.
Yeah.
So if I can get my press credentials with that, I'm gonna take the camera, hook one camera in my truck, and I put my phone over here or something like that, because I got a couple of action cameras that I can strap to my motorcycle and stuff, and put one on my helmet and stuff like that. And when I go out and do stuff, and then we edit it all up and put it down. So that's what I'm doing. So I want to, if I get my press, then I'll show the whole experience as to when I'm leaving the house and, getting in the car and driving to Dallas and going to the press stuff and going to press conferences and all that stuff, and show the fight, try to show as much of the fight as possible, you know what I'm saying? And just make it into a video and make a whole show out of it.
That'd be dope. I'm definitely gonna be looking out for that. So I'm glad you kind of led me to so I'm still coming up, like I said, I'm new at this thing. So I'm still coming up with my little style. So I guess since you're a professional wrestler, I'm gonna say this is the closing of the interview. So we're gonna say I'm gonna call this the finishing move when I'm talking to a professional wrestler. In the box, I might say the knockout blow or something.
The knockout,
yeah. So just to close it out, you got anything else you want the people to know? What you got going on?
They can always go to my Patreon channel, patreon.com/Stevie Ray TV, or my YouTube channel that I got a interview with me and Jamel Charlo chopping it up right now. I just released a clip of that. yesterday with me and Jamel chopping it up and talking about Canelo Alvarez. I even got people sending, must be a little Hispanic guys sending, oh, he didn't want to fight this, blah, blah, blah. You see them putting the little messages in there and stuff like that. But so by the fact that Canelo getting ready to fight, I was like, hey, told my producer, hey, put that stuff out on Jamel right now so we can start a buzz. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to be doing more of that when fights get closer or stuff like that. And I'm trying to get Larry Holmes on again. Not on my, he did my radio show years ago, but, I want to get him where we can talk, like me and you talking right now with video screen, stuff like that, and really go over some of these things and the masses can hear it, like what we were talking about as far as Mayweather goes and stuff like that. But they can also download the Twitch app and go to Stevie Ray TV, because I might be doing a watch along this weekend with the WrestleMania show.
Okay.
So I'm not 100% sure yet, but I might do it because that's what I'm going to be, you just watch along with the fans and they can't see it. They can see on their end. And then in between matches, we do dialogue as to what you think about this or what you think about that match, stuff like that.
Right.
So, hey man, I pretty much podcast full time now.
Okay.
And now I'm gonna start vlogging. I'm starting a new show and I do a radio show on the weekend on 95.3 Jams called the Stevie Ray Experience. Okay. Where we talk about, combat sports and stuff like that from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. every Saturday Central Time. So, hey, man, just out here doing my thing, man.
Well, it's great seeing you doing that. It was a pleasure and an honor talking to you. Like, I knew it was going to be something great when we talked on the phone for those few minutes. Right. I told my cousin, I was like, man, you'll never guess what I just talked to. Like, oh, man, I just got off the phone with Stevie Ray. He's like, for real? I'm like, yeah. I said, we didn't even talk about wrestling, fool. We started talking about football and Deshaun Watson. And, like, I told you, what I'm saying? It's like, it just kind of just started flowing. That's what I was like,
that's what I'll be talking. That's what I'll start the show off with tomorrow.
Yeah, I told him, man, I figured this interview is just going to kind of go. I had me some questions all laid out. I probably asked 6 of them because I figured we were going to, just kind of let it.
Right. That's better. That's better anyway. For sure.
Yeah. It's just good content. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to sit down and rap with you, coming on Big TX Smokehouse. So y'all check us out one more time. This is the man, the big boy, Stevie Ray, H-Town Harlem Heat, 10-time tag team champion. I appreciate you again, brother. Be blessed. No problem. And I look forward to talking to you again.
No problem, bro.
All right, peace.
Peace.
It's the Big TX Smokehouse. Got 'em begging me to let the smoke out. If you flex with me, you get choked out. It's the Big